Alright, what's going on, guys, and welcome to the second episode of our Play Now Online series. Originally, I wanted to show you guys every game, but I looked through the games that I did have and I'm missing a few. So you can see we actually made it out the freshman league and are in the JV league with a 3-0 record. But from now on, every game that you see are going to be right after each other. All the game clips on my folder, they follow each other, so we're not going to be missing out on any more games. And that one loss on my record was actually really not a loss because 2K ended up disconnecting us when we tried to play. Even before the tip off, the score was still 0-0, and it gave me a message saying that we've been disconnected and the game will not count. But for some reason 2K still gave me a loss even though the score was 0-0 and we didn't even make it a tip off. But for this video, we have the Phoenix Suns going up against the Philadelphia 76ers. So this should be a good matchup in theory, but like I said in my last video, the lower seeds that you are in, the competition is not going to be that good, but we're going to see how this one turns out. I went with the Suns. I think they have a pretty good roster. They have Chris Paul, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, and then they added Jay Crowder in the offseason. So their starting five at the time of this video isn't too bad. You also can't count out Mikal Bridges. That's a good player to play with on 2K. But I think the Suns adding CP3 was a great addition for them, not only in real life but in 2K too. Because if they don't have Chris Paul, I don't really think they're a tier 2 team. And on the other hand, we have the Philadelphia 76ers. The only main addition I really know that they added in the offseason was Doc Rivers and Dwight Howard. I know Josh Richardson left and I like him as a player in the NBA, but in 2K his game doesn't really translate that well. But they still have a pretty good team. You have Ben Simmons, although he can't shoot on 2K, if he gets a step to the rim, that's a good game. That's a deal done. I mean, the layup animation this guy gets, especially with him being like, what, over 6'10", and most of the time he's going to be guarded by smaller point guards. So it should be easy for anyone playing with the 76ers to get Ben Simmons going. And then you have Joel Embiid as well. He doesn't need to be in the paint. He has a bit of an outside shot. So the Sixers are a good team to play with, but we went with the Suns ultimately. I like playing with the underdogs, and I like the roster they have. So you can see the game has gotten a bit out of hand. Nice Euro step behind the back layup by Chris Paul, and that is just going to increase the lead. Now we have Ben Simmons again trying to force his way to the paint. Can't get it. Gets his own rebound and puts it back up and in. That's one thing when you play against guys who have these huge, tall point guards, or these guys who are 6'10" and they're playing the point guard position. You have to go in and change that matchup. You don't want to have your own point guard get abused on defense. But getting back to the game, you can see that the score is 33-12. My opponent, he was not good at all. I don't even know what he was trying to do. Maybe he was just trying to try a game. But kudos for him for sticking it out. And if you could already tell by the score, we pretty much have this game wrapped up. I mean, we would just have to play horribly, and this guy would have to shoot about 100% just to get a 2-point victory off of us. So that's the end of the first half. We have a huge lead, and there's nothing we could really do to mess this up. But my opponent, this guy, he was just not good at all. He was taking all types of crazy contested shots. He had easy looks at the basket, but decided to pass it out. But I can only control who I play in front of me. And 2K, they put this guy in front of me, and it was one of the easiest victories I ever had on 2K. I thought it was going to be a little bit challenging because early on in the game, he was just grabbing a whole lot of rebounds with Joel Embiid. And then when Dwight Howard came in, he was still grabbing rebounds. So that made it a little bit difficult. But his inability to hit shots or even run plays caused them to be in a huge deficit. And you see he gets the putback with Joel Embiid there, probably one of his more smarter shots that he took. And now the score is 52-21. We're already in the fourth. These videos, I don't really intend for them to be too long. Most likely around 6 to 8 minutes, maybe more if I have an extra game in here. DeAndre Ayton gets the steal, slams it down, and we get a and one. Like I said, this is probably one of the most easiest W's I'm going to have this year in 2K. But my thoughts playing with the Phoenix Suns, they're a decent team. They don't really hit a lot of outside shots. And against the 76ers, they are horrible at rebounding. Like I was kind of getting a bit worried about our rebounding because Dwight Howard and Joel Embiid, they were just grabbing so many offensive boards over us that it was getting ridiculous. But fortunately enough, this guy seems like he didn't know what he was doing, and it led to a very easy victory. Chris Paul with another nice tough layup, and he gets it to go. Although I won convincingly with this team, I really wouldn't choose them again just because how they play. You almost have to play perfect with this team for everything to go right. And I just think I caught a bit of a break because this guy played no defense. Well, on that possession there, he finally played defense. Didn't know how to play offense, and you can see the hole that he has dug himself in. Although he gets a nice layup to go there, but it's a little bit too late for him to start to try and make a comeback. Towards the end of the third quarter, I was just trying to try out crazy shots, see what I could get to go, and wasn't really too into the game. You know, it's not one of those nail-biter games where I really have to pay attention and focus in on every possession, but you know, it is what it is. I'll take the victory any day like it. You can see that Devin Booker had 14 minutes, 16 points, and shot 50%. Step back with D-Book, got that one to go. That was a pretty good shot by Devin Booker there, but you don't really hit a lot of those shots, and you know, as expected, those shots are very difficult to hit. And another thing about this guy, he started going to a zone, and the zone for me is pretty easy to beat. All you really have to do is just get your bigs to post up at the top of the key and just back down the smalls, or keep backing your way down so they don't strip the ball. But that's the end of the game. We win 74-27. So this wasn't even a competition at all. And with this victory, we are 4-0 in the junior varsity seed and 9-1 overall. See you guys later.